Hello everyone, welcome back to Talking History. Happy New Year! I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas if you celebrated Christmas, and I hope you've all had a good start to the new year. I know it's still very early, we're only in the first week of January, but I hope you've had a good start. So, let's talk about Talking History, how I would like to see this channel go for 2023. I know I say it every single time, but I do have a lot of future videos planned, and I do love seeing your recommendations, what videos you'd like to see. So please let me know in the comments below if you have any videos you'd like me to do, and those I have had recommendations, well, I will get those videos done. So please stay tuned, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. So I'm going to do a little bit of rambling, but I'll try and get into the video as soon as I can. So what I want to do for 2023 is I'm going to stick within the timeline. So I'm not going to change that too much. I don't want to do a video on Henry I and then the next video go forward like 500 years and do a video on Edward VI. I don't want it to be like that. I like it to stick within the timeline, but I am going to maybe go back or forth a little bit within the time, but still sticking within a particular century. So at the moment, as you all know, we're in the Norman period, so we're in very early 12th century. So within the videos, I don't want to filter too much away from that. So for today's video, I am going back a little bit. I'm going back to early 11th century, and I'm going back to just before the Norman conquest and a little bit just after. So we're still within the timeline just a little bit. But for today's video, I really want to go over to Scotland. I haven't done many videos on Scotland yet. I've done a video on Margaret of Scotland, and I've also done a video on Edgar the Eighthling, even though he went back and forth from Scotland. And I will link those in the cards for you to watch in case you haven't seen those yet. So today, to kickstart off things with Scotland, because Scotland is rich of history. It's got so much history. And if you live in Scotland, let me know. I love Scotland. We visited Scotland a couple of times and it's just beautiful. Anyway, so for today's video, I'm going to do a video on who was considered to be the first King of Scotland, and that is Malcolm III. And I have, from him alone, after he was succeeded, there's so much rich history there, and for future videos it will be a lot with Scotland as well. So bear with me, like I said, I'm still within the timeline, and forgive my rambling. So let's get into the video of Malcolm III. Enjoy. Malcolm was born in 1031, and he was the first king of the House of Dunkeld, or the House of Canmore. Now, Canmore has been translated as bighead or great head, and the House of Canmore would go on to rule Scotland for a further 250 years. Malcolm was the son of Duncan I, and his father would be killed by Macbeth, Shakespeare's Macbeth, and Thorfinn Sigurdsson. I think I pronounced that right. I really hope I have. Apologies if I haven't. When Malcolm was only 9 years old. So after his father was murdered, he seeks refuge from Earl Siward Bjornsson of Northumbria, who was a relative of his mother's. And Malcolm would stay with Siward for a further 14 years. So in 1053, Malcolm had received military support from King Edward the Confessor to invade southern Scotland, and he had received considerable support from the nobles in Lothian. I think I pronounced that right. Apologies if I haven't, but I really hope I have. Malcolm had then met with Macbeth at the Battle of Lumphanan. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. I'm really, really sorry, but my pronunciation isn't great. You guys know that, so apologies. And this was in Aberdeenshire on the 15th of August, 1057, and Macbeth was killed, and he was succeeded by his stepson, Lulach, possibly. Apologies again. Please don't hate me. And Malcolm had caught up with Lulach on the 17th of March in 1058, and he killed him. Malcolm then became Malcolm III of Scotland. His coronation had took place at the Stone of Scone on the 25th of April in 1058. So Malcolm then married the widow of Thorfinn Sigurdsson. So together they had 3 sons, who was Duncan, Donald and Malcolm. See, why can't it be simple names? Why can't it be like that? I can say them. By 1070, Malcolm was a widow, and he married Margaret of Scotland, who was the great niece of Edward the Confessor. Now, Margaret, who had favoured the Roman Catholic Church over the Celtic Church, and so for Margaret to feel more at home, he allowed for the language used at court to be Anglo-Saxon instead of Gaelic. And as a result of this, Malcolm would be the first to be called King of Scotland in his time. Now, Malcolm and Margaret had 8 children together. That was Edward, Edmund, Ethelred, Edgar, Alexander, David, Edith, who would become Matilda, and Mary. So Malcolm was keen to take advantage of the disruption of the Norman conquest that had disrupted England. So he wanted to extend his kingdom southwards. And he was also keen to see his brother-in-law, Edgar the Atheling, who was the rightful Anglo-Saxon heir on the English throne. Now, Malcolm had also invaded England 5 times, and he was a formidable warrior, but there isn't much information that survives of his reign. So William the Conqueror had pushed Malcolm back 3 times, and in 1072 he was forced to sign the Treaty of Abernethy by William, and the document had provided the basis for later claims of dominance of the English throne over the Scottish throne. So Malcolm had also had to give his eldest son from his first marriage, who was Duncan, as a hostage. So when William the Conqueror died and he was succeeded by his second born son, William Rufus, who became William II, and in 1087, Duncan was released as a hostage. Now, Malcolm had once more decided that he wanted to invade England, and this time it would be with fatal consequences. On the 13th of November in 1093, Malcolm III, King of Scotland, was killed at the Battle of Alnwick. He was aged 62. Malcolm's eldest son from his second marriage to Margaret of Scotland, Edward of Scotland, was also killed in the battle alongside his father. Margaret was told of her husband and son's deaths by her son Edmund, and 3 days later Margaret died on the 16th of November 1093, and Margaret was later canonised in 1249. Now, Malcolm was buried at Tynemouth Priory, but in 1115 he was exhumed and he was reburied next to his wife Margaret at Dunfermline Abbey. And Malcolm was succeeded by his brother Donald II. And that's all I've got on Malcolm III. And I will be doing videos of the more future kings of Scotland within the timeline. Next week I won't be going back. I know you're all expecting a video of Stephen of Blois. I still can't pronounce that name properly. But there's one more video I want to do before I go back to that. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share so we can reach more and more history lovers like yourselves. And until next time, look after yourselves, and I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye.